Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ghost and Friends. Tonight we have episode 1 with my dad. There's no better way to start it off than with my biggest hype man, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Coach2J. So we're happy you're here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to do it. Very proud of you, obviously, what you've been doing. So excited to be a part of this.
Yeah, super. I had a whole bunch of people that I wasn't planning on ask a whole bunch of questions in my comments when I tweeted about it. I was going to keep it super short and sweet and only ask you like 4 or 5 questions that I had, but the people have things they want to know. So I feel
The,
like we need to give the people what they want.
the people have spoken, and there are some
Yeah.
good questions.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I just looked at that last night before I went to bed. I was like, oh my gosh. So like, really good questions.
People
So
are really opinionated. I'm sorry, my chair is like not the best, so we'll mix it up. We'll make it better. Okay, let's start off with question number 1.
okay.
Um, what was your favorite memory as a player? And tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, probably definitely when favorite memory as a player. There's so many. I think though one of the coolest just to have been a part of it was launching Ty Detmer into the swimming pool when he won the Heisman Trophy. We were in Hawaii. So we were all surrounded around. He joined in via satellite. Even back then they had satellite, Savannah. Joined in back then and we just chucked him in the pool after he won the Heisman. So that was a pretty cool deal just because I always included everybody in his success, so he made everybody feel a part of it, which was a really good deal, special deal. So
That's awesome. It's so
yeah,
funny because I always like forget sometimes that you're really cool because you're just my dad, right? And then casually he'll throw in, "Oh yeah, I blocked for Heisman Trophy winner Ty Detmer," and I'm like, "Oh, excuse me, you're right, you're
yeah.
right."
Little street cred. I got a little street cred.
So funny. Someone asked a similar question, so we'll kind of keep it on that topic. But what
Okay.
is the one best thing you learned from your time being a head coach? I actually don't think a lot of people know that you've been a head coach. I don't know
Yeah.
why it doesn't get talked about that much. So, what's the best thing you learned when you were a head coach?
I think it's probably the thing that I enjoyed the most about it was as a position coach or as a coordinator, you get to affect segments or pieces of the team. But as a head coach, you get to affect the whole team. And so always having a prepared like team talk or again just having learned from Lavelle and how he was a player's coach. I think that's the most genuine piece about it is that man, players want you to be as genuine as possible and share with them what you're feeling, what you're thinking, because those are the same things and thoughts and feelings they're having. So always having a prepared team meeting. Man, it was, one of the coolest team meetings I ever had was, man, the next day after we found out Barack Obama was voted president and we were in Los Angeles, and it was really cool, dynamic feedback between the team, and it was pretty special.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I didn't even know that. So, that's way cool.
yeah, yeah.
Someone else wants to know what is the thing that you're most proud of outside of football?
Oh, it's like not, it's so easy. My family, man, it's a total blessing to see the surrounding that I've been blessed to be a part of, starting with our queen of the house. She does a great job of making sure everybody is in line and knows what to do and when to do it. But I absolutely proudest. Like I can't even tell you how I'll be sitting there in the office and Coach Dorne will say, "Hey man, how's Savanah? What's she doing?" And we start talking about you, and I just beam up, or "Hey, how's Carson doing? How is Summer liking her job?" Or just stuff like that. Being able to brag about my children and just obviously behind any good man is a great woman, and so proud of my family.
That's awesome. Yeah, I told people to ask questions that weren't directly like, related to NC State, not because we don't
Yeah,
live, breathe, and die Wolfpack, but we're both wearing Wolfpack stuff, but
yeah,
people want to know other stuff too. So I love that
yeah.
answer. What would you say is one of the standout memories you have from your coaching career that helped you grow the most?
Yeah, so a lot of times, man, as coaches, it's not a good thing. It's not healthy. So we remember the scars more than we remember the good things. And so was probably one of my first, it might have been the first or second year I was a head coach. And man, there was all this preseason hype, and we went to go play a lesser team at their place. And man, I thought we were having a great camp. You know, we were loaded, we were super talented, returning quarterback, um, elite defense, and man, a little old school on their turf beat our ass, man. And so after that, I just remember going back and looking at all the things that we had done as a group, as a unit, as a team into that fall camp, and man, probably should have made it a little bit tougher and a little bit more challenging. So I go back to that. Just prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yeah, a coach once told me that's why you play the game, because anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
And I've been that anybody sometimes too now.
Hey,
I've been that anybody.
you have
And I
to be both sides of the coin.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that's so funny. Someone said, if you only have 3 restaurants to attend in Raleigh, what are they?
Oh man, by far, man, love the Oak
Yes.
Steakhouse. Love just had a phenomenal Thanksgiving dinner there and have been back several times. Um,
Feels like it should be a family tradition at this point because it did result in a dub. Just
it
throwing it
did.
out
It,
there.
it did. It did. We might have to take that into serious consideration. Then I love our little spot for oysters, the
Yes.
Saint Roach.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
rock or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Saint Rock. I love that. Absolutely love that. And a third place, man, um, do love me some Amedios. I do love Amedios. I do crave their. We're kind of spoiled because we get it in the office during the football season. So, but yeah, Amedios is really good. Hopefully, I didn't offend anybody, but those would be my go-tos.
We go to a lot of places. Every time I'm home, I like look up places or ask
Yes,
Twitter or TikTok. So like if we haven't been to your spot, drop it in the comments. We'll hit it eventually.
not
Um,
eventually. It'll definitely happen. We love our food.
yes, yes. It is always time for food in a trenches household.
Yes, yes,
Yes. A lot of people had questions about NIL, and I feel like NIL is always like painted in such a negative light, myself
yeah.
included. I do that a lot on Twitter. I prefer the old days of college football, but in keeping it positive, what is something that you actually love about NIL?
Yeah, I do I do love absolutely I do love the NIL piece. I think this year is kind of a little bit different just because it's kind of been blown out of proportion because there was that slush fund that teams could use before July 1st to kind of create signing bonuses. But man, again, opportunity to be a part of a great institution. All of them that I've worked at have been phenomenal as far as academic pieces. And then those kids, again, they and other kids have opportunities to work. These kids don't have a chance to work. I know they're getting a free education. I know that they're getting the best healthcare treatment, tutors, all that, and normal students have to pay for that. And I get that, but I think it's a little bit blown out of proportion as far as what the money they're making right now. But in the same sense, those seats in that stadium, they're not there to see me coach. As much as I'd like to think they are, they're absolutely not. The fans come there to see those players play, and a lot of the schools, and I know this is, they made good money. They made great money off of those things, and so again, just a little bit of sharing here and there, and I think it'll balance itself out. But I do think that it is a blessing for those kids because a lot of times this could be, a good way to start their lives. Really, if they do it right and they plan and they save, they could get a great kickstart on life, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, I think something that I always think about too is like people are like, oh, all these athletes get everything they want and so easy to get into college and this, that, and the other. And what I like to remind people is that like they worked their ass off in a different way. They might
Correct.
not have to pay for college now, but do you know how many hours, money, time their parents and them put in growing up? It equals out to a
Yeah.
college education and the cost of it. As someone who was like raised playing club soccer and this, that, and the other, that's how much college costs
Oh,
eventually.
yeah. Oh no, that's a great way to put it. And I think too, along those same lines, like it's there's a lot of time and energy, like you said, put into it. Man, I thought you said that really well. So yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. This is such a funny question because I'm curious what you would say, what mom would say, and what the rest of us would say.
Okay.
So, according to you, how many weeks realistically of vacation do you get every year?
That's a loaded question. So I mean, there's designated days off, and yeah, but you're recruiting 24/7. You have to recruit every day. I mean, if I'm not calling them, who's calling them? If you know, it's like just with anything, with any relationship, you can tell how interested people are with the amount of time they spend in it. And again, if you're calling a kid and he doesn't answer, or you're texting a kid and he doesn't respond back, or he just thumbs up it or likes it, hearts it, or whatever, yeah, then there's no genuine relationship there. If you're actually exchanging dialogue, then that's a pretty cool deal. And so again, if I'm not taking that time up, somebody else is taking that time up. And so, again, there's times where we go away as families as vacations, and every morning, every night, I'm back on my phone making sure that I've talked to people and the right people and sending them videos and stuff like that. But I would say, I mean, you're even sending text messages on Christmas.
Yeah,
So it's but again, those that's one of the main reasons I coach college football, is because of those relationships. And so to me,
100%.
having those relationships, they're bonded, forged in those moments. So I really look forward to that piece.
Yeah, I always like to shed light on this because a big topic on social media is always like, oh, college football coaches get paid so much to do this. And I'm not, money is relative, right? And so,
Yeah,
relatively, yes, okay, sure. But I think something that like I love being a coach's kid to shed light on is like, yeah, but your dad doesn't come to your college graduation and your dad never gets to
yeah,
see his son play a D1 Power 5 college football game. Like,
yeah,
all these things that like, and we understand and we love it and we
yeah.
wouldn't want any other life. And like recruiting the kids that are coming to your school is far more important than my college graduation. And funny tidbit for people if they don't know, but me and my siblings were like, recruiting's a family affair in the 2J
It
family.
is
And so
100%.
and so we have like an ongoing calculation of who has the best recruits of the
Yes,
family.
yes,
And so my dad missing my college graduation resulted in one of my best ones ever. So
yes, it
I'm
did.
definitely not mad at it
Yeah, it did launch you at the top there for a little bit.
for a little while. I think
Yeah,
Carson's winning right now though.
it
So
is.
just funny. Coaches, kids stuff. But yeah, speaking about recruiting, someone asked this and maybe I'll answer it because I think I know what you'd say. But someone
Okay.
said, who are the players that got away on the recruiting trail that he wished he would have gotten? And I think what you would say is nobody, because people who really want to be here come here, and that's who I want to
Yeah,
coach anyways.
yeah. That's my like I. There's obviously guys that were, that I'll remember their names and I follow what they do. But man, I think one of the greatest gifts we've been given is the power of choice. And sometimes the way I present things is it's going to be really hard. And not that kids choose the easier path or whatever like that. Sometimes there's all different kinds of reasons. But man, I just think, and honestly, in all humility, it's not my loss. So, it's not my loss. And so again, I've been blessed with that. Again, like I said, but you know, man, you have the power of choice. That's the greatest gift we've been given by our Father in heaven. And so you get to choose. I just want you to know what I have and what I'm giving you to choose. And if you don't want that, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just maybe we just don't fit.
Yeah. As much as my dad's my biggest hype man, I'm also his. He took the worst offensive line in the ACC and made them the best offensive line in a 4-year span when Clemson was at the height of its best offensive line they've had in a while. And
Yeah.
not only that, he also is, of all offensive line coaches, the best at developing talent and having them go from low ranking 3-stars to high level draft picks, or due to unfortunate circumstances when coaches leave, to transfer out. But he
Yeah.
has one of the best developing of, in terms of like getting them from like for example, a 72% rating to
Yeah.
like a 90, a 3-star to a 5-star. So
Yeah. No, I
exactly
appreciate
what you
that.
said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not your loss.
Not my loss.
Um, Someone said, "What's your dream coaching job?"
Yeah, it's not, I mean, that's easy for me. It's the one I have, man. I love to be where my feet are planted. Every place I've had the fortune to go to, been coaching college football for 32 years. I've been to 6 different schools, which is really, really cool. But man, every place has got a special place in my heart. Um, the job I have is the best one I could ever have. And so it just is all about where I'm at. I love to pour into where I'm at, the community. My family does the same thing. You'll find us at a bunch of baseball games. I mean, we go to gymnastics, wrestling matches, basketball, women's and men's basketball games. Baseball is huge for us. So, I mean, again, we become as much involved in the athletic community and the city of Raleigh as we can.
Be where your feet are.
Be where your feet are, baby.
Yep. It's funny because people always ask me what's my favorite place that you've ever coached. And I always say BYU is my alma mater.
Yeah,
So I love it there.
yeah,
Charlottesville is home
yeah.
because it's the place I lived the longest and I feel like is most home. But Raleigh is my favorite place ever.
Yes, yeah. Mom and I, we absolutely love Raleigh. Absolutely love it. So,
Yeah, I think another interesting thing, this isn't something that somebody asked, but it made me think of it, is that people are always like, "Oh, why didn't you take this job or why didn't you do that?" And I think people forget you have like wives and families and it's
yeah,
not just a you decision, and mom
yeah,
has to be happy about it too.
100%. Because
Yeah.
again, I'm not like, and that's one of the hardest things about coaching is when we get a new job, I go right now. Like I'm there the next day, and you guys aren't.
Yeah.
And mom has to organize all the moving and all that. Like it's very stressful getting and finding a new house. I'm just living in a hotel, and I help out a little bit, but I mean it's just, especially when you take over and you start over at a new spot, there's so much to learn, the people that you're working with, and it just the way the operations work and all that. And so again, it's extremely time consuming. That's why, man, being on a staff for a long time is so refreshing because right, how people work, and not that they're going to keep doing the same thing. You just know how they're innovative and how they do things in their processes, and it makes for things to just move that much smoother. But man, that new job or that opportunity or this opportunity, yeah, it sounds great on paper, but when it really comes down to it, man, what kind of stress are you putting on your family? And again, I think so many coaches just chase money, and again, like it is what it is. But man, I love to be around people, and like I said, I've been blessed. I've been around great people.
Yeah. I not that Coach Dorne cares about any of our opinions of him, but I
Yeah.
obviously had a very different opinion of him before you coached with him than I do
Oh,
now.
so did I.
It might be in part because his team hurt Brennan at a game that I wasn't at because
Yeah.
of a really tragic family situation.
Yes.
But Coach Dorn literally is the best. And I
He's
just like
awesome.
I want people to know that. Like he's one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life. And I'm grateful that like you're one of the greatest men I've ever known in my
Yeah.
life too, obviously. But
Yeah.
like to know that every day you go to work and you work with people who are like so amazing and like
Yeah.
care. Like Coach
Yeah.
Dorn doesn't need to care about my life or have a conversation
No.
with me
Yeah.
ever. And he
Yeah.
does every time I see him.
It was just the other day, we're sitting down having dinner together, came and sat down, and he's like, "Hey man, how's Savannah doing with her search and what she's trying to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she's got this, and this." And just again, like I said, I've been around great people, and they've all known my kids' names and all that stuff, but like for him to know where your field of work and all that stuff, like it's just powerful that he remembers it. And one of the best that has the best like finger on his whole team. Like he knows his players very well, very, very well. So
Yeah. No, I would imagine if he cares to know me that he would know them
yeah,
even better. And I feel like
yeah,
he's super awesome about knowing and caring about me.
yeah.
Someone said, how fun has it been to see your kids? And I would include mom. If anyone doesn't know, I don't talk about my mom or like post her a lot on social media just because it's just not really her thing. And some
Not at
things
all.
are just better private. She doesn't really want to
Yeah,
be involved.
yes,
But she's the
yes.
best ever. We love her. We couldn't be anything without her.
Correct.
How fun has it been to see us, me and Summer and Carson, grow up to love the game, and mom as well, just
Yeah,
like love to
yeah.
be a part of it?
Yeah, I love telling the story because like people again, if you want to get into coaching or football and all that stuff, it just you got to have a very independent spouse. Like you have to. It just and again, because there's just again, it's a great life, but there's also a lot of times and late nights and hours that are different and stuff like that. And it is with almost every profession, right? You get out of it what you put into it. But man, your mom, as you know, was trained back in the day when they didn't have like the picture in picture. And her dad would stack three televisions on top of each other and splice the cable in the back so they could watch all three games at the same time. And I mean, that's just what she grew up on. And so, man, obviously, she loves football. Probably like there's times I'll come home on Sunday and I'm just like, get the recap. Like, Chris, like, she just wraps off the whole all NFL games, who played well, who didn't. I'm just like, trying to find a first down still for to beat so and so. And she just does a great job of passionate. And then obviously, you know, mom also loves baseball, and I think that's where we all get that from too. And really, really want Carson to play baseball. But he's like, Dad, this is killing you. That's just sitting and spitting. So he goes, I'll just hit bombs all day. I'm like, son, it doesn't. You got to play out in the field. He's like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously it makes things a lot easier. How involved you are in college football and NFL, and just it's awesome to see your love and passion for it. I mean, Summer's crazy enough; she actually works in it, right? She's
Yeah.
decided to make a total career out of it, on the hard, like on the grinding side of it. And then Carson just man, he eats, sleeps, and dreams, lives, eats, sleeps, and drinks football. Like period. Anything he can do to get the leg up as far as recovery, strength, nutrition, any of that. Sending drills back and forth to each other. Like, Dad, what do you think about this and stuff like that. So it's been very fun because it obviously is my passion.
Yeah, it's fun that we all, as you've said before, it's fun that we all get to live it with you.
Yeah,
Mostly me and mom get to live it with the three of you
yeah,
guys.
yes, that's true.
It was so funny the other day. Summer's my sister. She posted this story on Instagram. She's not really on social media either, but she posted this thing on Instagram that she worked a 15-hour day, and it was only day 3 of fall camp. And she's like, "Please help!" And people are like, "Aren't you like support staff? Do you actually have to work that long?" And she's like, "Yes, I
Yeah,
do."
yeah, yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah, it
that's
takes
funny.
everybody.
Yeah.
Like you
Some,
said, everybody brings energy to a room.
yes,
Someone they get there, and others when they leave.
that part. That
That
part.
part. Yeah,
I tweeted about like not leaning on things if you get invited to practice because it's an energy sucker if you lean on things.
a total energy sucker.
Stand up
Total. Yeah.
straight, don't
Yes.
lean, be
Yeah.
actively engaged.
Yes.
And
Cheer on the team. Like when you see a
yes,
play, bring energy. Somebody makes it. It doesn't matter, man. The kids, they see that and they hear that and they feel it. It makes a big difference.
you want to get invited back? That's how.
Yes.
That's so funny. Someone asked, what's the biggest piece of advice you'd give if you could give to yourself back in your early coaching days? So, like, what piece of advice do you wish you would have known or you could give to yourself when you were early
Yeah.
in your coaching days?
Yeah. It's kind of cool. So, man, I was early on in my coaching career. My O line coach was still alive, And man, I just told him really bad. Trucky's trying to get in the show. I told him,
Oh, the dog.
yeah. I tried, like I was told him, man, I want to coach Division I football. And he's like, well, why? And I'm like, I mean, it's like college football's best, right? And he's like, but really, why do you want to do it? He's like, it sucks. I'm like, dude, what? Like, what are you telling me? He goes, man, you're at a junior college right now, man. You're coaching it for the love of the game. Like, dude, you just, man, and that's kind of where I got my whole thing from was like, stay where your feet are, be where your feet are. Don't chase jobs. Just work your ass off wherever you're at, and those jobs will come find you. And so just him always telling me, man, just be where you're at, be where you're at, learn as much as you can there. And I thought, you know, one of the best things that ever happened to me in my coaching career ever was Pete Davis, who's just recently passed away. He gave me my first job at Chabot College. And I remember one day I had just graduated from BYU, did the whole trying to play in the NFL thing. That worked out wonderful for me. Right. And so I got a job in downtown Oakland pulling parts for a truck company. And man, I was coaching ball in the afternoons and I loved it. I was in heaven. And I remember we went out to practice and I had all my individual all meched up and I got these guys kick stepping and punching and picking up twists. And Coach Davis comes over and be like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, Coach, we were terrible last year. I watched the film. We couldn't pass pro at all. He's like, I go, we're going to pass pro this year. Like, I'm bringing BYU here. He goes, hey, dumbass, we run the wing P. We're not throwing the ball. If it's 3rd and 12, we're going to run the buck sweep. So I was like, he goes, I want to talk to you after. Finish your individual, and I want to talk to you after practice. So I go into practice after practice, and he's got a VHS tape, and I know some of us don't even know what that is anymore. He hands it to me, and he goes, here, I want you to watch this game, and I want you to write down every play what the left tackle does. Okay. So I wrote it down and this is how many times he did this, and this is how many times he did that. I came in, I was ready, had my paper, I was going to show him the report. And he goes, what'd the left guard do? I was like, you only asked me to do the left tackle. What'd the left guard do? I was like, all right. So I went home, got my VCR, started looking at it, writing down. I go, I bet he's going to ask me what the center does. And then I bet he's going to ask me what the right guard does. I bet. So I come back with the report and he goes, so what do you got? And I said, well, I went and did all the positions because I figured you'd ask me. And he's like, well, what'd the left tackle do? And I said, 72% of the time he blocked down. He goes, then your individual, 72% of your individual needs to have him blocking down. It's like, just to make sure though, here's the other 11 games. Why don't you check out all those? So it was a life lesson, man. Is again, plan your practice and practice your plan. It was one of the
Yeah.
things I learned early on in my career. And again, because you can start chasing ghosts. And again, to me, it's just plan your practice and practice your plan.
Love it. This is a hilarious question, but I think it's so good.
Okay.
If your daughter was going to marry a football player, what position athlete would you choose and what would she choose? So what
So
do you think I would choose and what
for
would you choose?
okay, so for you would. I mean, it's the same. It's a big man. You got to have a big man. Got to be an old lineman, 100%. Because man, if the world was made up of all offensive linemen, we'd be in a better place, right?
Yes.
Providers, sacrifices. We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. So for you, it absolutely have to be an offensive lineman. I think you would pick an offensive lineman as well. Your
Yes.
sister, on the other hand,
True.
she is all about the skilled athletes, which is very upsetting. She, but she can tell you the depth of the mesh route, but she has no idea. She does. That's not fair. She knows what a little O-line play, where you could put on a whole 5-on-5 blitz pickup pass pro clinic for offensive linemen. She could tell you the depth of the mesh route and the comeback and all that. Yeah, she likes the skilled athletes.
That is actually a really interesting observation, but very true and accurate.
Yes, very.
That is so funny. Okay. In general, how do you approach players after a loss? Like what do you do? I know that's like a bad question in the terms of like who wants to talk about that, but I think it's something that you're really good at, so that's why I bring it up.
Yeah, no, I think again, the first thing I do if there's a loss is, man, I look at my process. And if I like early on in my career, I've not prepared my guys, and it's a terrible gut wrenching feeling when you just you haven't prepared your guys. And so one of the things I love to do after every game is we kind of have like we just go over the game as a group or a unit, and I asked them, man, was there things that they did that didn't surprise you? And there's always going to be one or two, a different blitz or something to attack our protection this way, or because of our run game that, or whatever the case may be. But man, just were you prepared? And I've had players tell me, no, coach, we weren't prepared. And again, it hurts, it sucks. But again, feedback's a gift, right? And you can take it and you can learn from it and you can get better and and have your processes and your routines, and because everybody has their own little wrinkle to it. So to me, man, you after a loss, I put that more on me than them. And again, because I don't think anybody's going to go out there and try to lose, right? I don't think that's the case. And so to
I
me,
think I think fans on Twitter think you might be.
yeah, oh yeah, that's why I don't read the comments. don't
You and me both.
don't read the comments. But again, it's just like I look at my process, and then to me, it's like, okay, what were some the major pitfalls that you had as an individual player? Let's look at those and let's see what we can do, right, to fix those this week in practice, put an emphasis on, right? I've got a great story. Like one of my tackles really struggled gaining ground with his backside run game. And so I laid down a white tube sock and had him step over it, so that way he had an actual visual thing on film, whether or not he was gaining ground on that. And so to me, it was awesome, right? Well, he was embarrassed because NFL coaches were coming out looking at it, and I had so many coaches go, "Hey, what's the sock there for?" We're watching practice film, NFL scouts, or even O-line coaches, like, what do you got the sock down there for? I just a visual to know if he took a good step or not. And he's like, there's like, that's brilliant. And so this guy's going to interview with GMs and other coaches and something. They're all asking him about it. And he's embarrassed, not realizing what a great tool it is. And so you got to be able to think outside the box and find creative ways to help your guys get better, right? Because again, once you put something on film, you got to fight your ass off to get it off film. Otherwise, people are going to keep, if you got a short shoulder, they're just going to keep poking the shoulder, right? Until you fix it. So you got to get stuff off of film.
Yeah, I love that. Another thing that like you and mom taught me is that if you've done all you can do to prepare, you just have to surrender the outcome.
Yeah,
Sometimes the outcome's not going to be what we want it to be, and that's just unfortunately part of life.
yeah, it is. And that's tough. And that's been a huge thing for mom and I, especially these last couple of years, like last 10 years. We've talked about that a lot. Just do your best, work your heart off, and do everything you can. And then, man, surrender the outcome.
Yeah. Okay. Is about to be a first-time parent. So what's
Okay.
something that surprised you to learn after becoming a parent that you had no idea about beforehand?
How much you can actually get done with the least amount of sleep possible. I had like, yeah, I had no idea that it was humanly possible to be fully functional, being completely sleep deprived for a period of time. And I'm mom did an awesome job with that. And I didn't have like serious responsibilities. I'm not that guy. I changed diapers. I did everything I was supposed to do. I wasn't that guy. But it's just amazing how much you can actually get done with very little sleep.
Yeah, I think another thing to like just shed light that people don't know about college football coaching is that it's one of the careers that I admire most because everybody has to be a GA.
Uh,
Everybody has to start at the freaking bottom, dude. It doesn't
yeah,
matter who you know, it doesn't matter who your dad is. Lane Kiffin was a GA.
yeah. Everybody starts at
Everybody's
the
a
bottom.
GA.
Yeah, because they want
And
to know your story. They want to
yeah,
know your story. So
are you really built for it?
yes, because it sounds good and it looks good and it feels good at times, but are you really there for the long haul?
And I say that to say, so basically when I was little, because I'm the oldest, he had no sleep because he was a GA, but GAs don't make money. So he had
Yeah.
to have a job on the side to make money so that my mom could watch me during the day. And my mom
Yes.
has always helped and worked and
Yes.
done all that she needed to do during those times as well. But he had no sleep because he was still trying to provide for me and my mom. That's the
Yeah. There was
truth.
many times the VCR with Disney. You weren't a big Disney movies person though. You didn't like Disney movies that much.
What did
So
I like?
I'd put the movie in and press play and I'd fall asleep on the floor and you just like 30 minutes later I'm like wake up and you're nowhere even. I'm like, where the hell did she go? Crawling all over the place. So yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Someone said if you could hang out with any musical artist, past or present, in the Florida Keys at a local dive bar that would grab a guitar and play for an hour, who would you pick?
Ooh, only one?
Someone also said, what top 6 artists define your music taste? So we can combine the
Yeah.
two.
No, I would say like to get on a guitar, man, James Taylor probably would be up there.
I knew you were going to
Yeah,
say
I would
him.
say James Taylor would probably be up there. Yeah, I love like that just reminds me of road trips and chilling. I mean, obviously there's, a bunch of country music singers I'd love, but James Taylor, man, I would be special. I would probably say that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is my favorite question, and I think I could answer part of it as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
But someone said he's the most energetic coach I've ever seen in my life. How does he create the juice on off days or days after bad news, no sleep, things that are hard in your personal life, this, that, or the other, basically? And I would say I definitely want you to answer this, but I do also think that it's because we read It Takes What It Takes by Trevor Moawad. Because
100. Oh,
if you have a negative outlook, you will have a negative outcome 100% of the time. It
yep.
is impossible to have a positive mindset 100% of the time. And if you can't be positive, you be neutral, and you probably might still get some negative outcomes, but your chances are greater than zero.
Correct. Yeah, I think that was that was a big eye opener for me. That book, I absolutely love that book, and man, I knew he had so much more to give. It's just a bummer his life was cut short, but just a great, great person and passionate about human development. And so again, the power of the tongue can cut deep, especially with self-talk. And so again, just knowing that if you have a positive outcome, and again, like I'm coaching college football. Like, let's be honest. Like, I get to coach college football. There's 67 Power Four football programs in the world, and I'm one of the offensive line coaches at one of them. Like, come on now. Like, let's be honest, right? So, and again, attitudes are contagious, and if yours is worth catching, negatively and positively, you can make an outcome on a room. And so, to me, it makes no sense to be angry and upset. Now I'm very demanding and I want stuff done a certain way, and my guys know that. But man, again, it's just like I am their biggest cheerleader, man, when they strike gold. Like again, you just get that moment you're looking out on the field and they execute something that they've just been struggling with, and you just make eye contact and it's like, man, we did it. Like and again, it's no like you did it, but man, to have been a part of that that's what it's all about. And it gives me goosebumps right now to talk about it. So yeah, I love that part of my job.
Yeah. I think too, it goes back to like a lot of things that we've talked about where it's just like the the circumstances of your life rarely have anything to do with like your attitude or whatever or
Yeah,
the circumstances of your life don't matter if you have the right attitude. And so just whatever your circumstances are, like if you're choosing to be happy, it's
yeah,
amazing what
yeah.
having just a positive mindset will do about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it's the Stockdale paradox as well, too, right? I mean, that was very powerful reading as well. But man, Trevor Moab, It Takes What It Takes. I think if you're struggling with that, man, that's a great book to read.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best books I've ever read in my life. And RIP to him, like you said, he passed
Yes,
away. I feel
yes,
like he had so much more to give. And shout out for the Wolfpack, for Wolfpack Nation. He was Russell Wilson's like
yes,
mental strength coach. So he gives a
yes.
lot of examples. If you're just a sports fan in general, you'll like it because most of the examples are sports related. But specifically Russell Wilson, just because that was his like mental strength
Yeah,
coach. You'll like it a lot.
yeah.
Highly recommend. What is your preferred running back build as an offensive line coach? Elusive or a powerhouse?
We are a program of and.
Yes.
We are a program of and. So again, like, obviously speed never has a bad night.
Never.
It's undefeated when it's used right. And so I do like that. But I also, again, if you have a running back you give the ball to and he can get first downs, that's awesome because you stay on the field, you move the chains, and those are things. But if you got a guy that you give the ball to and he can get touchdowns, that's more electric. So again, I love both. Like I love having a damaging, like physically punishing running game. And so if you can, the perfect one exists. I can give you thousands of examples, right? But man, it's if I had to pick one, I would tell you that I would rather have a speed back than a powerhouse back, just because again, anytime and every time he touches the ball, it's a good chance it can equal points.
Yeah, for sure. Um, a lot of people would like to know what a typical day looks like during the season that's not a game day, and then like what a typical day looks like that's a game day. But let's do
Yeah.
not a game day first.
Okay. So again, I think it just like with anything as you build up to the event, Sunday and Mondays are brutal, like brutal days. Tuesdays are not much better. Wednesday, it starts to ease up a little bit because the game plan's in, and it's not like you want to get smacked in the mouth as a football coach. You let's say the hay's in the barn. It's never the hay is never in the barn. I mean, we're making adjustments seconds after series, right? So again, the hay's never in the barn. But man, you know, Sunday you usually put the game to bed from the night before, and then Monday the players have off, and so that way you're in early and you're breaking down film, looking at all the tendencies and things of that nature, and watch a lot of film Saturday, Sunday after you watch the game with your team, and then Sunday and Monday is just a lot of film study, and you start formulating a plan. Tuesday, the plan comes to fruition. You look at things and you see, like, hey, can we do this or can do that? Does this work with that? And so on. How does this look? Because there's always maybe a little wrinkle to it. And so again, but man, you get to Thursday and it's usually date night with your wife on Thursday nights, except we have the whole line over every Thursday night for dinner. So that's our date night. And they love it, man. They sit on our couch and it's hilarious. I should take a picture of that one day and put it on the internet because they get shamefully bashed. But it's awesome, man. I just love having the guys over to the house. So and then game day always starts with an intense workout.
Correct.
Gotta push some steel, climb a mountain. It's gotta be vigorous, right? Because again, you just drive yourself crazy. And then again, it's a good meal. And then man, just clear the mechanism. And I do a lot of the work day. So much at that point now just becomes a checking boxes with your guys, making sure that they're upbeat and they feel confident, right? And again, it's not a false bravado. It's you're giving them real confidence. Maybe a walkthrough or two, depending on what time the game is, and then another great meal, and then man, you get after it. You come to the stadium, and I love, man, just watching them go, and seeing if the 6 days prior has built up to their success. So game
Yeah.
days are a little bit more chill. I'm one of those dudes though that like it was crazy. I just after the game while they're getting the film ready, I'll go for a run after the game, and then I can't go to sleep till I watch the game. So I'll watch the game that night or that day, or usually on the plane if we're flying back, just so that I can get the thought process going again.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this wasn't asked, but now I'm curious. My preferred game time for one of your games or Carson's games is 3:30 kickoff, right? You have
Yeah.
enough time to work out, you have enough time to like not miss college game day to like make it to the game on time. I mean, nothing beats the atmosphere of a night game. I understand
No.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you're stressed about the game all day, more stressed than the people participating because we're in the active portion
Yeah.
of life where we're learning to just be grateful we're on the journey with them. Um 3:30 is my ideal kickoff because then
Yeah.
after you win, I can watch college football till 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
stress free, hassle free.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what is your preferred kickoff if you have one?
So as a player, man, I wanted noon. Like, let's wake up, get this sucker over with, man. Let's beat some ass and then move on. I will tell you, like, it just depends. At home, I love night games. I love
Yes.
night games at heart. Carter Finley is rocking. The places that I've been fortunate enough, a couple of the places I've been fortunate enough to work at have an elite fan base. And so the night games are just like, it's a total advantage. Like, it
Yeah.
100%, like, you're going on a silent cadence in Carter Finley. You're like, our fans are huge football IQ, when to be loud, when not to be. So I love that any type of advantage I can get as a coach, but sitting through the whole day, you can't, like, you're sitting there watching a game, and you're like, I just can't do it. I gotta go. And I go on a walk and I come back and I'm, oh geez. So that part of it's a bummer, but man, I think the atmosphere of a night game, right? Especially now with all the lights and the fireworks and all, like, it's awesome. So I would say now it would be the night game again because I can distract myself. I have other meetings, I have other things where, you guys on the journey as well. You're just watching other college football games. And so, but yeah,
Can confirm that there are several walks happening on game day when kickoff is at 7 p.m.
several.
I'm like trying to get some candy and hang out. We should go for a walk.
Yeah, we need to go for a walk. Yeah.
Missing every single college football game on
Yeah.
TV to go for a
Oh,
walk.
dude. Yeah. Where are we going? I don't know yet. We're just gonna go for a walk. So, oh yeah.
Literally so funny. Yeah, no, night games are hard to beat. I love it, but it's hard to sit all day and just
Yeah.
stew about it.
Yes.
This is a great question, and I think that the answer is no, just based off of rewinding every single play 47 times to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But someone said, when you sit and watch a game, are you able to turn off the coaching and just enjoy the game?
No. Every time there's a football game is a learning opportunity for me. And so, like, it's so funny, especially with Summer. If I come in and they're watching a game, she'll grab the remote. She won't
Yes,
let me rewind it.
we need to
But
rewind. We need to see it. And then we
yeah, hey,
rewind 10 times.
what the left tackle do right there? Dad, it doesn't matter. Like, you got, and again, she's not wrong because you guys aren't wrong because I'm gonna have the cut up of the film in my office the next day, so I can go look. But it's just very rarely can I just sit back and watch a game and watch how other coaches do things and just the flow of the game. And you still learn from that. But man, if you see some sort of unique play design or somebody's using a new technique, and just in my position, it's so technical, and I'm always trying to study different ways to do things. But yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible. It's completely impossible to just watch a game.
Yeah, it's hilarious. If you're wondering what it's like growing up in my household, we do, in fact, rewind every play probably five
Oh,
times if it was something, especially if it was a great run play by the offense.
yeah, yeah.
We're
We
watching
gotta
it six
we got
times.
we gotta look at it. And then I remember one time Summer took the batteries out of the remote. She took one of the batteries out of the remote so that I'm like, it's not, why is the remote not working? I don't know, Dad. I'm like, little butt hair, dude. So
Because then you get so far behind that you're like
Yeah.
getting the
Uh,
notifications on your phone and then you missed
That's
it.
that's a nightmare. If you're getting a notification on your phone and you're watching a game, yeah, you could get cursed. You can get
Yeah.
cursed out in this house.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I'll do two more questions. Guys, we'll probably do a part two because everyone had quite a few, but I had questions ready that I wanted to ask you. So I wanted to make sure we hit at least a couple of those
Okay.
before we kind of end it for the night. And the first one is, what is something that you feel like nobody knows about being a college football coach? Like just something that people will be like, wow, I never thought of that. Or like, I never expected that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think like yeah, that's a great question. What does someone not know? I think you look at it in this profession, and a lot of times there's a lot of macho men, obviously, lots of egos. I mean, any coach that tells you they don't have an ego is not being honest. And so I think just like there's things that are moments like that when your team or your position group or a player is not playing well, it hurts you. Like it's not a just like go find another player. And I really believe like man, if bad players in college football don't really exist. I mean, again, some are obviously better than others, but man, as a coach, you have to put your players in a position to be successful. If you're asking a kid to do something that he cannot do, is it really on the kid? And so again, and there's certain circumstances where you gotta try something because the scenario tells you that you need to do this or you need to do that. But to me, it's like, man, when my players are not succeeding, it hurts me. Like it hurts me bad because I feel like I've let them down. I know these kids' goals, I know their dreams, I know
Yeah.
I know everything about them. And so I think that piece of it, like, you don't just brush it off as a coach. And again, I have more rings than I have fingers, and I don't care. Like those things are irrelevant. They're awesome. I don't ever wear them. I wear one ring. Like I just to me, man, it's about the young men that I get to coach, and if they're not succeeding, man, that hurts me, and that's what I lose sleep over. Is like, how can I help this kid get better? And so I don't think a lot of times people realize how hard coaches take it when their team or their players aren't doing as well. And again, it's like in this day and age, it's like, oh, just fire them. And I get that. I understand that. It's a part of it. It's a big boy business. But man, it still doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, right? And again, like you want your players to be successful. So I think sometimes people just underestimate the actual give a crap meter of the coach.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great point because even too, like, I think people underestimate how much the rest of us care about your players, like mom and me and
Oh,
Summer and
dude.
Carson. Like, I care about someone asked me like a different question, but someone was like, do you know them? Do you talk to them? Do you see them? And I'm like, any of them
Oh,
is
yeah.
a part of my family. Like if
Yeah.
they were in Florida and they needed something, like I'm there. Or if
Yeah.
they what this, that, and the other, like same. I'm rooting for every single one of them. I'm wishing every single one of them the
Yeah.
success. I follow them on social media to see them live out their dreams.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a good point all around. I think they underestimate how much you care, but they also underestimate how much I care.
Yeah. No, I think it's a family thing. It's just like, not this last Easter, but the one before that, mom and I spoke in church. And man, I told one guy in my room who I thought, he's a very religious person. I was like, hey man, if you want, my wife and I are speaking in church. 12 dudes showed up, and I'm up there, an emotional mess, right? In an emotional mess with this guy just needed love right now.
It would not be a true 2J family get
Yeah,
together
I
without an
know.
appearance from the Truckee.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it's just as much as they're a part of ours, they try to make it become part of our family. And so that's really cool. So
Yeah. No, they're super important people in my life, in all of our
Yeah.
lives, but in my life,
Yeah.
especially too, because they're like 18 to 24-year-olds that you like met when they were 16. And so like
Yeah.
I see them like grow up and go from boys to men. And it's just like
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
and we're glad that they are being brought up to be men by people like you, because obviously you're passionate about it and love it and do it for the love of the game and their development. And people always ask me about it too. They're like, oh, do you like wish your dad was at more stuff or this, that, or the other? And it's like, not at all. Like literally not at all. My dad, like the men that I meet out in the wild, they needed someone like you when they were 18 to 24.
That's all. Thank you. So
yeah. And then my last question, will end on this. I want to know, because I actually don't, like, I was racking my brain thinking about this. I don't know what I would say. I think I do, but I might have recency bias. So what would you say is your best memory of me and you, college football related, or just me, or whatever it is? Like, what's your best memory of us?
Yeah, so that's easy. That's super. I have two, and they're both the same. Like they're both. Like I think about them all the time. One was I was just the head coach at College of the Canyons, and it's like you said, recruiting is a family affair. And I remember one time we had to go to three high schools to check out there were six teams we had to go to three high schools, and usually every night always ended with a stop at like we'd go to Denny's or something, whatever, late night. But man, you just sat there in the end zone, right? And one of the first field that we were at was a turf field, and I was like, "Sweetie, you got to spit your seeds into the bottle." And you're like, "This makes no sense to me." You're just launching them all over the place. And the AD comes by, and I was like, "Well, we'll pick him up, though. I'm sorry." Like she's just really struggling with the whole, why is this seed gotta go in the bottle? But you were hammering your sunflower seeds and just very much into the game. It wasn't like you were sitting off at the corner playing with it. You were watching the game, but like you were holding the bottle in one hand and I was holding the seeds. And you just every once like fifth or sixth one, oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to spit them in here. So that was fun. We were watching it. It was a good game too. I remember the game. And then the second one was your crazy ass drove out to Nebraska.
That's facts.
And I'll never forget that. And we kept that a secret from mom because she didn't want we told her once you got there. But that was cool. We beat them. It was an awesome Hail Mary game, and you and I have a sweet picture on the 50-yard line. That was pretty cool. That was special, right? Because again, we were on the other side of the country. I didn't have any family there, and and again, and I know mom probably would have flown if she wanted to or whatever. But yeah, it was cool that you did that sacrifice. So those are my two memories.
That's cute. That's so funny.
Did you think of either of those?
No. And what's weird is I literally just posted about the Nebraska game too. So I think I was like too delusionally tired to like actually comprehend what was happening.
I was brutal. Yeah.
Oh, it was so worth it though. That's why.
Absolutely.
Yeah. People are always like, oh, you just like do the most random stuff. That is why. Because that is one of the best experiences of my life. And I would have been furious if I wasn't there.
Yeah, if you'd have missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd have missed it. So
I was going to say, that's why I said I think it's recency bias, because I was, if our whole family's in football. So my mom went to one of my brother's games for rivalry week last year. And so I was the only one at my dad's game for rivalry week last year.
That was cool.
Yeah. And I like, I hate UNC in a way that is like, it's my moral obligation because I'm an NC State supporter, but also in a like, it is also UVA's rival, and my dad coached there for like 9 years prior. So like I've been hating, but I also deeply hate UNC on a personal level, like so deeply that like beating their ass will never get old. And like I said, I was the only one there. I was like bawling my eyes out. I was sitting with a friend of mine, who,
I pulled you over
yeah,
the stands. That's right. I
yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
That was cool. That was a great experience. Like, and again, there's rivalry week and there's all that and there's all everything that's hyped up into that. And again, it's all in fun. But when it
for
starts to
sure.
get to a personal level, that's where it now becomes like I'm it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's deeply
So
personal with
yeah,
them across the
yes,
hill,
yes,
across the
yes,
street.
yes. So,
And then
but
this is a funny story. I don't know if anyone knows it, but it has to do with that. Afterwards, the like security's furious, right? Because this is the fourth year in a row that they've lost to
yeah,
NC State. And I'm just like trying to wait for my dad at the top part because I took like the like bus with the cheer team there. So
yeah,
if you're family, you can like usually travel with the team to games in the sense that like you'll be able to get there. And
yeah,
UNC is close by. And so I went on like the team family bus. So after the game, I'm trying to go get back on the team family bus, and they're like, no. And they're just being assholes for the
yeah.
sake.
Just being jerks.
Yeah, yeah, because they're pissed. And you know what? I don't even, you know what? Good. Rightfully so.
Yeah,
I'd have done the same, to be honest. I'm not even
yeah,
mad. But I'm like, I'm just gonna book it. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Catch me? Catch
yeah.
me? No. The cheer girls, the NC State cheer girls came in
That's right.
clutch.
That's right.
Distracted them, and I just started running. I was like, I'm just gonna run, and eventually someone's gonna know me and be like, your bus is over here, and I just started
Yeah.
running.
Yes. That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot
Oh,
about that. That's a good story.
so funny, so random. Well, thanks for being on. Like I said, I
Always.
couldn't start it with anybody but you because you're always my biggest hype man. So you mean the world to me, and I'm so grateful for everything that you've done for me in my whole
Yeah.
life, and especially for making me fall in love with the game of college football.
Yes. You're awesome, sweetie. I'm proud of you. I love you. Keep rocking it. How many you at? Keep rocking it. Keep rocking it. So you're
I
doing
will.
good. Proud of you.
Thanks.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.